Carol was 68 when she shocked her family. She skipped Thanksgiving dinner for the first time in her life. No fight, no illness, just a quiet choice. I don't want to be around people today. Sound familiar? What if I told you this silent shift happens to millions after 60, and it's not just about mood? There's a deeper reason, one most people never talk about, and today we're uncovering it. This truth has helped many reclaim peace without guilt. If you've ever pulled away from others and didn't know why, comment where you're watching from, because you are not alone. For Carol, and so many others like her, this quiet withdrawal didn't just happen overnight. It was the slow accumulation of years marked by disappointments, misunderstandings, and emotional letdowns. Sometimes it's a sharp betrayal. Other times it's simply realizing you no longer connect with people you once shared everything with. These experiences leave invisible bruises, and they teach us to be more protective of our emotional peace. It's not bitterness, it's wisdom. Take Mrs. Thompson, for instance. For decades, she was the heart of every holiday. Cooking, decorating, making sure everyone felt at home. But after too many weekends ending in exhaustion and silent tears, she made a quiet shift. Now she spends her weekends with a book in one hand and garden shears in the other. And she's never felt more at peace. Choosing peace over pressure is not selfish. It's necessary. And if you felt this change in yourself too, that's not something to be ashamed of. It's a sign that you've grown. You're listening to your heart, finally. And that's the beginning of something beautiful. Once we've shed the weight of draining relationships, something remarkable begins to happen. We start craving depth, not noise, not crowds, but connection. After years of playing the host, the peacekeeper, or the entertainer, many older adults realize that surface-level talk just doesn't feed the soul anymore. We begin to hunger for conversations that matter, ones that reflect who we truly are and what we've lived through. Mr. Delgado is a perfect example. In his younger days, he was the heart of every room, always telling stories, making jokes, keeping the energy high. But now in his 70s, he finds his greatest joy in quiet coffee dates with a trusted friend. They talk about the real stuff, grief, gratitude, how life has surprised them. And those moments feel more meaningful than any crowded celebration ever did. It's not that we don't care anymore, it's that we care more, but for fewer things and fewer people. And when you find that kind of genuine connection, you realize it's not loneliness you fear, it's disconnection. And that shift, it's what makes this stage of life quietly powerful. As we seek deeper, more meaningful connections, we may still encounter an uncomfortable truth. The world around us is changing, fast, and sometimes it feels like it's leaving us behind. You might sit at the dinner table and realize you don't recognize the names of the celebrities being discussed, or wonder why everyone's staring at a screen instead of each other. It's not about refusing to change, it's about feeling disconnected in a world that rarely pauses to understand where you're coming from. Ms. Lynn, a retired school teacher, knows this feeling well. Once a respected voice in her classroom, she now finds herself quietly observing at family gatherings, where conversations revolve around the latest app or viral video. She listens, she smiles, but deep down she often feels invisible. That's why she started attending a weekly book club at the local library. There, surrounded by people who speak her language of memories, values, and shared history, she feels seen again. This isn't about resisting the modern world. It's about honoring the stories and wisdom we carry. Because even as the world races ahead, there's deep value in what we bring to the table, if someone's willing to listen. Feeling misunderstood in a fast-paced world can quietly lead to another powerful emotion, one that often goes unspoken: the fear of being a burden. When everything around us seems to be moving faster and our loved ones seem endlessly busy, it's easy to wonder, will I just be in the way? This silent worry can push many older adults into retreat, choosing solitude over reaching out, not because they don't need help, but because they don't want to feel like they're interrupting someone else's life. Take Mr. O'Connor, for example. After a minor fall in his kitchen, he sat on the floor for nearly 15 minutes, debating whether or not to call his daughter. She had meetings that day, a long commute, and a life full of responsibilities. He didn't want to add to her stress, so he picked himself up, dusted himself off, and said nothing. But the truth is, his daughter would have been there in a heartbeat, and he knew it. Still, the hesitation came from a place of love and fear. This internal conflict is one many seniors quietly carry. But what if asking for help wasn't a burden, but a bridge? That delicate balance between loving others and not wanting to burden them often reveals something deeper. Relationships aren't static. They change just as we do. As we grow older, it becomes clearer that not all connections are meant to last a lifetime. And that's not a failure. It's simply the natural evolution of relationships. Take Sarah and Linda, childhood friends who once shared every secret and celebrated every milestone together. For decades, they were inseparable. But when Sarah moved across the state to be closer to her grandchildren, their regular lunch dates and weekly calls slowly faded. It wasn't out of anger or neglect. Life just pulled them in different directions. Now they both look back on their memories with warmth, not sadness, understanding that some relationships are seasonal, and that's okay. This realization can be both freeing and bittersweet. It reminds us to hold on to what still brings us joy and gently release what no longer fits. Because in the end, it's not about how many people are around us, but whether the few who are truly see us. As we journey through life, the idea of solitude often shifts from something to fear into something to embrace. With the passage of time, many of us begin to understand that solitude is not synonymous with loneliness. In fact, it's often during these quiet moments that we find clarity, peace, and an opportunity for deeper self-reflection. For example, Mr. Patel, a retired engineer, starts each day in his favorite chair with a cup of tea in hand, watching the sunrise paint the sky. As he sips his tea, he reflects on the years behind him, the triumphs, the challenges, and the lessons learned. These solitary moments have become his sanctuary, a time to reconnect with himself and gain a sense of fulfillment. Over time, Mr. Patel has come to value these morning rituals, realizing that they bring him a sense of peace and self-understanding that no busy conversation or social gathering could provide. Embracing solitude allows us to listen more closely to our own thoughts and needs, fostering a sense of contentment that often eludes us in the hustle of everyday life. As we navigate the later years of life, it's important to embrace the lessons learned, valuing meaningful connections, accepting the evolution of relationships, and finding peace in solitude. By reflecting on our past, we can create a fulfilling and balanced life, free from the pressures of societal expectations. Each of these insights offers a chance to live authentically, cherish our memories, and prioritize our emotional well-being. Remember, it's never too late to make these changes. If this message resonates with you, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories and advice. Join us at Wisdom Guide Daily for more inspiration.